Anthony Joshua does an interview with Sky Sports where he speaks about his fight with Francis Ngannou, and he says that he believes that he can knock out Francis Ngannou. And most importantly in that, he says something that I always wanted to hear from Anthony Joshua, and he said mentally he is in a place where he is ready for war. Now, it's no doubt we all been sizing up Anthony Joshua and paying close attention to him basically since the Andy Ruiz loss. And, you know, we've been paying close attention to him, and we can tell that Anthony Joshua has now come into a good space. It seems like his wellness is good, and physically he's looking up to par. He seems to be getting better. He seems to be hitting harder, and he seems to have more belief in himself, almost a renewed confidence in himself, or a renewed ambition. You can kind of see with Anthony Joshua, because there's no doubt he doesn't need the money. He can milk his situation. He doesn't have to take these hard fights or anything like that. So it just goes to show that he still has ambition and fire and drive and still inside of him. And given that what he said, people would ask, well, what does a statement knockout or a statement performance against Francis Ngannou, what does that do for him? And I would have to say this: if he was to go in there and dispatch Francis Ngannou and make it look easy, like effortless, it will be the biggest fight talked about in combat sports since Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. Not only that, it will renew the outlook that people have of Anthony Joshua. Plus, it will put him back in the lineup for an undisputed shot, because all of this came along because Francis Ngannou left a question mark, and that is the itch that we needed scratched. This is kind of why people didn't want Anthony Joshua to fight Francis Ngannou in the first place. You know, it's a circus match when Anthony Joshua does it. When Tyson Fury does it, it's good for boxing. I'll digress on that because we already know what that's about. But nonetheless, that's exactly what it will do. There'll be more eyes on this fight than I would think even the average heavyweight fight. You now have the MMA world, you have the boxing world, you have the casual world, and you got people who just curiosity and just want to see a freak show, because this is like a freak show kind of fight. You know what I'm saying? The heavyweight division is the casual division. If anybody can bring a casual fan to boxing, it's going to be in the heavyweight division. So all around, it's all around good. It's all around aces if he can go in there and do that. However, nobody's expecting it to just to be a cakewalk. But if he happens to make it look easy, if he happens to make it look effortless, if he happens to spark Francis Ngannou out and just knock him out, you talking about his name shooting back to the top of the sport where it's always should have been in the first place, due to the fact of the work that he's put in. And not only that, he's amassing a great resume and a list of accomplishments. So he will be the most talked about person in combat sports for that week or two or month or whatever and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So everything is to gain from this situation. And it's something that I think Anthony Joshua, I think he truly understands this. You know what I'm saying? And I think he really wants to shut people up. I think he really wants to prove some people wrong. And I think that he knows that he's owed more respect. And if he's not going to get it, then goddamn it, he going to beat it out you. You're going to respect him one way or another, you know? And that's what I get from him. So I'm seeing that he's physically up to par. He's bounced around from trainer to trainer. It looks like he find a guy that he can gel with, that makes him believe in himself, that knows how to, I guess, feed him physically and mentally, because I think that's a big part of Anthony Joshua. His coach just doesn't need to be somebody who knows the physical game aspect of things. They also need to know how to work Anthony Joshua's brain a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And everything's looking on the up and up. So if he can go in there and do that, you're talking about one of the biggest talked about fights in sports. You're talking about he's definitely going to get a shot at undisputed. That's even more reason we need somebody like Usyk to win, because there ain't no telling with Tyson Fury. Because with Tyson Fury, if he beats Usyk, you know, he ain't gonna go nowhere near Joshua. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna raise the money. It's gonna be the same old circus show, you know. And it come to find out that the two guys that was actually holding up this situation One of them we already got out of the equation, and that's Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. These two guys have actually held us up. I don't care what their fans say; they just don't want to acknowledge the truth. By now, with the Joseph Parker fight, we've seen why Deontay Wilder has been moving the way he's been moving, why he's talked about unifying the division, has never unified the division, why he could have fought some of the same people that Anthony Joshua fought, why he had a head start, I think a 3 or 4 year head start to Anthony Joshua, yet Anthony Joshua still eclipsed him. And that Joseph Parker fight, we found out why. Wilder's in over his head, and there's nothing left for him to do but to get hurt, because his skills is too corroded and non-present to even compete on this level. He ain't gonna do nothing but get, knocked out. It wasn't good to keep developing and not closing the gaps on your skill set, but I'm going to digress on that. But nonetheless, if Anthony Joshua can get out there and make it look easy and knock this dude out, he's right back to the top of the sport, where he always should have been.